Alright, so this tutorial is going to be over a couple things you've probably seen in other parts of grammar and things like that, but phrases and clauses. What they are, how they're different, how they're used, what they look like. Alright, so let's start off with what is a phrase, and you'll probably want to write this down. A phrase is a collection of words that may have nouns or verbs, but it does not have a subject doing a verb. So for instance, leaving behind the dog. There is a verb, leaving, and there is a noun, but the noun isn't doing the subject, so that's not a sentence. Smashing into a fence. What is smashing into a fence? Is it a beagle? Is it a ball? Is it a piece of ice? We don't know. Before the first test, a phrase you almost expect something else. Before the first test, I went to study. After the devastation, the people found shelter. Phrases leave you needing something else. Just here's some more examples you can write down as you wish. So in these, you find nouns: dog, fence, test. Devastation's a noun. Ignorance and intelligence are nouns. Thousands and pieces are nouns. And you also have verbs or verbals: leaving, smashing. But in no case in here do you have a subject doing a verb. Okay, so these are just phrases. They can't stand by themselves. They need something else to make them complete. So if you don't have a phrase, you have a clause. And clauses you would probably expect a subject doing a verb. So here are some. Since she laughs at funny men. She laughs. A subject doing a verb. I despise. Saints go marching. And here are some more examples. In the examples above, there is a noun or a pronoun that's a subject. These are in red. The noun and the pronoun. And they are attached to a verb, which is underlined in purple. That would be a clause. Now, some of you might be saying, Mr. Hayden, some of those aren't complete sentences. You're absolutely right. You have two types. You have two types of clauses. Independent clause. That is by itself. It can form a complete sentence. It's got punctuation. That's independent. I despise individuals of low character is an independent clause. Obedia Simpson, okay, whoever that is uglier than a rabid raccoon. That's an independent clause. That is a sentence all by itself. You have all the information you need. You've got the punctuation that you want. Now, dependent clauses are a little bit different. So how about we highlight the independent ones in green. Those are sentences all by themselves. They do not need anything. Dependent clauses, however, they need something. They have a subject doing a verb. She laughs is a subject doing a verb. But they have what's called a subordinate conjunction in front. Since, when, because. And because of that, that clause is dependent on something else to make it complete. If somebody just walked in and said, since she laughs at funny men, and then walked out, you would be completely baffled. You would not understand. Okay, since she laughs at funny men, what? It leaves you confused. You expect something else. So that's why they're called dependent. They depend on other information to make them complete. So it has what are called subordinate conjunctions, which we're going to learn about on the next page. Eventually, since, when, because. And that they cause the listener to expect something else. When the Saints go marching in, I run and hide. Since we used the word when, we're expecting a cause and effect situation. Because she smiled at him, he panicked and ran. With dependent clauses, they need more information. Without that, they're just really confusing. So those are phrases and clauses. Okay, so take a couple minutes, and there's a 15-question quiz about phrases and clauses that you're going to take, and it's the link right below this video. And I want you to record your score out of 15. I would think you should be able to get at least 10 or 12 right out of 15. When you've done that quiz and you've written down your score, come back to the video, continue from here. Okay, this is where phrases and clauses put all of our parts of speech together. So we know phrases and clauses depends on nouns and verbs. And we also saw that word conjunction. We know a conjunction connects two phrases, two clauses, two parts of a sentence together. We have coordinating conjunctions, and we have other ones called subordinate conjunctions. This is where it can get kind of confusing. So let's kind of scroll down and look at the different types of conjunctions. So the coordinating conjunctions connect to equal parts of a sentence, and we have the fanboys right here: for, and, not or nor, but or, yet so. He went to the mall and picked out a sweater. Two equal parts of a sentence. They usually are two phrases kind of connected. We're not really worried about the coordinating conjunctions for phrases and clauses, but what we have to worry about are subordinate or subordinating conjunctions. So here are some common subordinate conjunctions, and like this says, they connect two unequal parts of a sentence. So they would connect an independent clause and a dependent clause together. So you might want to take a second and write these down, and then we're going to see some examples. Maybe not write all of them down, but a few of them. So the reason those subordinate conjunctions are so important is because if we use them incorrectly, we take a good sentence and we make it into a fragment sentence. And a fragment sentence leaves us connecting or wanting more information. So use these conjunctions wisely. Don't start a sentence, or don't put "as mortals cowered in fear," because why are they cowering in fear? We want more information in that sentence. While Joey was shot 17 times in the tibia, the criminal ran away, he screamed, we want more information. Now just "mortals cowered in fear" by itself is a sentence. Joey was shot 17 times in the tibia is a sentence. A Corvette would be a finer gift is even a sentence. But adding those subordinate conjunctions in just randomly takes sentences and makes them no longer sentences. So that list that you just wrote some things down, if you have those, there better be more information in that sentence to let the reader know why this even matters. Alright, so there should be a second link below your video, and I want you to take another practice quiz. This one's only 8 questions, and it asks you to fill in subordinate conjunctions that make the most sense in your sentence. So go ahead and do that, record your score, and then come back. Alright, so at this point, this is where I kind of leave you, and I'm leaving it up to you to create your own practice or to find other practice online and to be able to show this on your work. So just make sure you are practicing phrases and clauses, both, not Bodie, both types. So you understand what a phrase is, you understand what an independent clause is, what a dependent clause is, and you know what those subordinate conjunctions are and how to use them and how they're used in a sentence. So you can look online for practice. You can take maybe some materials that you already have and label them as phrases, clauses, and conjunctions. Anything you want to do for that. And that's it for phrases, clauses.